All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and get started with questions for Coach Kelly. Please use the raise hand function under the participants tab at the bottom of your screen. Ben Bulch, go ahead.
Coach, Dimitri Felton had a career high rushing game tonight, obviously limped off the field on his final carry. Can you talk about his performance tonight, what that meant to the team, and then his status going forward?
Yeah, I was really happy for Felt. He's worked extremely hard since he moved to running back and has really turned himself into a quality back. And, he's got great vision. I thought our O-line did a really nice job. I think, the unsung group that I don't think gets enough credit is how well our receivers block and tight ends block. It was a team effort, but, for any back, when any back goes over 20 yards, that's a huge day. So we're really happy for Felt.
What about his status? What was his injury, his status?
What? Say that again.
His injury and his status going forward?
I don't know any of that.
Joe Reedy, go ahead.
Chip, just your views on how Chase did tonight.
I thought he did a really nice job. There was I thought he protected the football. And that was the number one thing we talked about going into this game. If we can either finish even or plus in the turnover category, we got a really good shot at winning. We preached that all week long from a ball security standpoint. I thought we carried the ball really well. I thought Chase did a great job distributing the football when we asked him to. And he also picked up a couple nifty ones for us in his ability to scramble. So I was really happy with him.
Tracy?
Coach, this defense to me is just significantly different than it was last year. Can you tell us just really the extent that Brian Norwood's had on the defense? Who's calling the plays? What's the process for calling the plays?
Jerry's our defensive coordinator. Jerry calls everything. So, it's a combination of Jason, Jerry, Johnny Nansen, Don Pelham, and Brian all together. And our whole thing that we talked about in the off season was getting our best athletes on the field. And we thought we had some really good athletes, at all three levels. And that's what we're trying to do. But Jerry runs our defense. Jerry calls our defense.
Tukney, go ahead.
Coach, how would you describe Chase's kind of demeanor as coming in the backup quarterback? And can be kind of a hard place to go into and get the offense going. How would you kind of describe his demeanor and his relationship with his teammates to get this win today?
Yeah, his mindset is great. He's one of the most driven young guys I've been around. He wants to be successful in everything he does. And really, truly, sometimes people talk about that, but whether it's on the field or off the field, in the classroom, in the meeting room, in the library, in the weight room, that's just kind of his mindset. But he also there's a calmness to him, and he doesn't get rattled, which is awesome. He really can stay neutral. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. And I think our players thrived off of that today.
Mike?
Hey, Coach. 20 points in the first half, then 0 in the third quarter. Did you guys get conservative on the play calling, or were you not executing? What happened in that third quarter?
No, I thought Paul Rhodes made some really good adjustments at halftime. They did a couple things, and then we had a counter their counter. I would give Arizona credit. I thought Paul did a really nice job, kind of figuring out what we were doing schematically in the first half, and he threw a couple different looks at us there in the third quarter, and then we had to kind of counter his counter. And then come back in the fourth. But, we expected that coming in. Paul's a hell of a football coach. And we've had really close games with Arizona. In my 3 years here, I think we won by 1 2 years ago here and lost a heartbreaker down there, a really close game down there. So, we knew we were in for battle, knew it was a really well-coached team. We got a ton of respect for Paul. And, Paul's one of the sharpest guys I've ever had an opportunity to coach with. So, we expected he was going to make some adjustments. And then we had to figure out what his adjustments were, and then we had to counter his counter. So,
Just a few more here for Coach. Tony, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, big number for the night, 0 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of the ball. What was the difference tonight compared to other games?
No question, and that's what we talked about. When we can be clean, and we reiterated it again at halftime. And I challenged our defense to see if they could come up with them, and they came up with 2. Blake came up with a pick there, and then Gatesy, kind of to seal it. So you got a pretty good shot at winning when you're +2 in a game. But it starts with us being clean on the offensive side of the ball first. And I thought our guys did a really good job, and that was a key part of this game.
Two more here. Ben, go ahead.
Secondary played a good game, piggybacking off of those takeaways. Secondary, Obi Ebo also may have had a game. What did you see out of those guys, and how important was it?
Yeah, again, I think we made some key acquisitions in the grad world with Britt and Obi, Paul Gratton, Q Knight. Those guys have been awesome. And I think see Obi in there. I think he had 2 sacks today from the corner position. It was huge. But they've shown great leadership since they've been here. All 4 of them are really, really competitive. They up our practice tempo, they up our practice intensity. And then what you guys got a chance to see today is what we've seen from them in training sessions. So it was really good to see, but it's a great spark for our defense. We're really, really pleased with him.
Okay, sorry, final few here. James, go ahead. James, we can't hear you. All right. Joe, Reedy, go ahead.
Chip, when Gunnell went out after the first play, their backup quarterback Plummer, when he came in, how much did it kind of affect or change the game plan with you guys in adjusting?
I don't think it did, because I think the way they used Plummer was the same way they used Grant. So, they weren't afraid, to put him in here and put him in the mix. And, I don't know their final numbers. I think they, he still threw it 35 times. He also had 12 carries for 113. That's with 70 yards and losses. So it didn't change. And we know Will. We recruited Will. We had seen him in person a couple times down there in Arizona. I know he's a good player. His brother's actually ripping it up at Purdue right now. So it's a good family. And he's a good football player. So, but I don't think their offense changed very much. But that's a good question for Kevin.
Okay, final question here for Coach Tracy. Go ahead.
Hey, I saw you gave Elijah Gates a big hug after that interception. Tell us a little bit about that. He's a guy that went from a starter at corner to down the depth chart and now playing safety. Just tell us a little bit about his transformation.
I think you guys get caught up a little bit too much in the depth chart because he plays a ton in our dime package. And, he played a lot of football for us and has been awesome. And I'm a huge Elijah fan. He's doing a lot of different things. He may not be the starting safety in base, but we're not in base all that often. We're in dime a lot. He plays a lot for us in dime, and he's worked extremely hard. And it's just when you see somebody work as hard as he's worked to have success like that, and to finish a game off that way, it was awesome. And I'm just really proud of Gatesy. He gives us everything he's got, and it was good that he came out on the right side of it today.
All right, that'll do it for Coach. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Who do you need?
Chase.
Chase.
We'll get started here with Chase Griffin.
Good.
Yes, sir.
All right, if you have a question for Chase, please raise your hand. We'll get started with Mike Regalado.
Hey, Chase, how was it preparing for a second game in a row in which you had to take over the offense? You guys came out strong and then ultimately got the win. What was that like, 2 starts in a row?
How's it going, Mike? Essentially, I'd just say it's a blessing. There's no other way to put it. Offense really played well and made it easy for me just to go through my reads and manage the offense and protect the ball, which was really our priority going into the game. And then for the other phases of the game, both special teams and defense, they played lights out. I can't really ask for anything else.
Tukney, go ahead.
Chase, we saw you kind of holding on to the game ball afterwards. Is that still in your possession? Did you keep it? And just to get this win as your first college starting quarterback win, what's this game like for you personally?
We'll see if I'm able to still keep the ball now that y'all outed me, but hopefully I can keep it. Like I said earlier, it's really just a blessing. I'm so proud of the way the team fought. And, sometimes a win is a win, and the rest of the team played great. And I just had to go in and protect the ball.
Joe Reedy, go ahead.
Chase, what's it like as a quarterback having Britton Brown and Demetric Felton in there to kind of help take the pressure off?
It's pretty awesome. As a quarterback, I'll play in any situation, but to have two backs who are really ready to go, O-line and tight ends up front who are ready to block, and receivers on the outside who are ready to make plays, it makes it a whole lot easier. So I go into games confident both in myself and in the offense. And I think it showed tonight. There were really times where we were really hitting our stride, and the defense and special teams played lights out.
Other questions here for Chase? All right, Chase, we'll let you go. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. God bless. Have a good night.
Next up, we have Obi Ebo.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Hey, Obi, we will go ahead and get started with Mike Regalado.
Hey, really big game from you, for some big stops. What can you tell us about, your contribution to the defense? Even though, it struggled in the second half, but overall you guys came away with the win. What was that like?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, I got to give it up to my guys, my defensive linemen, my secondary, linebackers, everybody. I mean, I think it's a selfless defense. And, I do better because my teammates are running hard to the ball. They're running stunts underneath. Shea Pitts is taking the tackle upfield so that I can come underneath. Everybody's working together as a cohesive unit to accomplish one goal. And I think that's what we did tonight.
Ben Bulch.
You were very disruptive with the sack and a couple tackles for loss. What allowed you to impact the game in that way and get into the backfield?
I got to give credit to our game plan. Coach Az and Coach Norwood had a good plan for us this game. And like we've been harping on since fall camp, this defense has been coming really aggressively, and we're getting to the quarterback, as y'all have seen in the past few games. So I got to give credit to the coaches in developing a very sound game plan, and the rest of our defense executing it.
Ben, go ahead.
You guys also had 2 interceptions, which was huge to preserve the win. I know this is your first year in the secondary, but what have you seen as far as growth from the other guys around you and the strides that they've made in their improvements?
From what I've heard, what they had going on last year, Coach Norwood came in and is really harping on ball skills and throwing the ball in practice. So whenever we're in practice, most everything we do, there's a ball involved and we're taking it away. We're always practicing creating turnovers, whether it's interceptions, strips, recovering fumbles, whatever we can do. We're doing those things fundamentally so that when we get into the game, it kind of becomes second nature. And I think we've done a good job of that, obviously, tonight with 2 interceptions and the 4th down stops and all those kind of things.
Any final questions for Obi here? All right, thanks, Obi. We'll let you go.
Thank you guys so much.
And finally, we will have Britton Brown up next. Questions for Britton, please go ahead and raise your hand. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Britton, how you doing? Obviously, Felton had a solid game, over 200 rushing, but you backed it up with 72 yards of your own. What is it like kind of, being like a 1-2 punch for the Bruins?
It's a lot of fun being a 1-2 punch because, you just have a teammate that can help you out if you're down a little bit, or if you're up, then, then the other person can pick you up. So just having Phil out there, you saw what he can do in the running game, and you can see what I can do in the running game. And it's just good to have a 1-2 punch with that O-line doing that work and creating them holes for us. And it's just turned out to be a really good thing for our offense.
Tukney, go ahead.
Hey, Britton, obviously you don't want to be in a position where you don't have your starting quarterback and you have to turn to a backup, but what impressed you the most about the way Chase was able to step into this game and rally you guys, stay calm in his first college experience ever, not only this week, but last week?
Oh yeah, we knew he was gonna do his thing in this game because he just always calm. He's always on his P's and Q's. He knows what he's doing. He comes prepared. You know, we call him the president because he knows how to lead this group. So I know we're down and out about Dorian not being here, but having Chase Griffin is not a minus at all.
Ben, go ahead.
We saw Dimitri limp off the field. How's he doing? Is he what's kind of his outlook going forward?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he's fine. Didn't look like anything too serious, but he's gonna be ready for next week, most definitely. Just being cautious about things.
Other questions for Britton here? Great, that'll do it. Thanks so much, Britton.
All right, thank y'all.
Thanks, everyone. That's going to conclude tonight's media availability. Have a good night.